So similar to how we set up that color style in our XD, and now we can use it throughout our design. We can do the same thing with typesets. And if you remember earlier on, I mentioned that we're going to come back and apply the SF Pro font throughout our design. We're going to use that as our primary font. Typically in an iOS app, we use this font as it's the most commonly used by Apple themselves. If you do want to go a little bit more creative and install a custom font, you can also do that and apply that font instead. But I think we're going to stick to using SF Pro throughout this iOS design project. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to developer.apple.com/fonts. Go ahead and enter that URL, and then you should be brought to this page where you can go ahead and download SF Pro for free. Now, if you're on Windows, I do want to note that it might be a little bit harder to open this file because it downloads as a DMG file, which is the installer file for Mac. But if you do go ahead and install and download 7-zip by heading on over to this URL over here, you should be able to use 7-zip to unzip this folder where you'll then access the font files from where you can go ahead and open those font files to have them installed on your machine. Now, we have installed those fonts in an earlier lecture, so I won't go through the install process, but I will give you a minute here to take a pause and install those fonts if you haven't, and then go ahead and follow on with the rest of the lecture. Once you do have those fonts installed, I'm using a resource called type-scale.com to actually pick a scale for our font sizes. Now, when it comes down to an application, whether it's mobile or web, we usually want to set up some sort of a typeset with different font sizes using some sort of scale so that if you want to, let's say, use a header text, we can use one of these bigger fonts. And then for our body text and captions, we can use some sort of a body font that's smaller. And so right now I've simply gone ahead to this website and our base size is a 16 pixel using a scale of major third. So it will go ahead and multiply each font size by 1.25 to generate the next size. Of course, you can go ahead and play around with other types of scales for your fonts, and it will just get bigger or smaller depending on which one you select. But I think this major third one or the perfect fourth work well. For the purpose of this course, we're going to go ahead and use the major third. So feel free to take a second to figure those pixel sizes out. And then once you have them, keep that window open so we can use it as we set up our typesets in XD. Head on over to XD itself. Go ahead, close this. So in XD, we're going to go ahead and set up that typeset by heading on over here to where we have our color scheme. And we're going to go ahead and duplicate this color scheme text over here, and where we're going to set up a typeset. Perfect. And so now we're going to go ahead and just zoom in, and then let's go ahead and create a text and name this one body 1. For this one, I want the font to be SF Pro, and I want it to be 16 pixels. And for the fill, we want to go ahead and use that 333 hex code for my body font. Then I'm going to go ahead and just place that down here, duplicate it one more time, and then we're going to do body 2. And this one, using my scale, it should be 20 pixel size. Then going up here, we're going to do header 3. And this one should be 31.25. I'm going to duplicate that one more time, do header 2. And this one should be 0.06. Whoa, that might happen as you're working on this, so be careful. Lastly, we're going to do header 1, and this one should be 48.83. Now, as we go throughout our design, we probably won't use the header 1 as much, but it's good to have access to these typesets throughout our design. So now I'm just going to place these over here. So I'm just going to select all of these over here now. And then for my body one, I'm going to create another duplicate of it, but this one I'm going to select medium for my font weight, and then call this one body one medium. Then I'm going to select all of them together and then click the plus icon here to translate those into a character style over here in XD. Let's go ahead and rename those. So this one should be a body one. I believe this one should be the body one medium, if I'm not mistaken. At any point you can press edit here to make sure. Okay, so it looks like I got it the other way around. The medium is this one over here. And then the 31.25 should be, and then we have the 20 as my body 2, the 31.25 as our header 3, our SF Pro 39 as header 2, and the largest font here as header 1. And you can go ahead and even rearrange these text styles over here, or even group them together. So let's say I want to group all my headers together. I can go ahead and select all of them and create new group from selection, and these are going to be all my header fonts, and then group these other ones together and call them my body fonts. Then you can go ahead and rearrange them as you like. This is just to keep things organized in your project. As I was doing that, I guess I messed up my typeset over here. So at any point you can go to the font that you want to change, set this one to set them to the ones that you are working with. So I'm going to select header 3, select header 3, header 2 should be header 2, header 1. There we go. Okay, so now these are my typesets that we're going to be using throughout our design. So next lecture, we're going to come back and apply those throughout our designs.